Q World, New World. Is it worth a buy? Let's read the words. On Steam. Explore a thrilling open-world MMO filled with filled with danger and opportunity, where you will forge a new destiny on on Supernatural Island, of Aetinum. I've eaten them all. Before we start, guys, I just want to say this is currently a review in progress. I did mean to record most of the footage today for this review because I'm level 20 now. I haven't recorded much up till this point, but I can't get in today because of the absolute shit show that this game is at the moment. With the launch, there's a 6-hour queue. This is a review based on the first 20 levels of the game, not the full game. I will finish the review in a couple of weeks' time. Or a few weeks' time. Or maybe it's never. In fact, I don't ever want to go back in this fucking game. Let's start with the graphics. The graphics look great. They really do. I love the world, the way it looks, the trees, the grass, the mountains. There's a bit of pop in with it, but it runs great. But I'm only running it in 1080p on a 280. Simply because, a 2080 rather, simply because I didn't want to have any big issues, because I wanted to just get as far into the game as I possibly could. And it runs fine and looks fine. Sound-wise, really nice. I really like the sounds in this game, especially the musket fire from afar. The way it echoes is fantastic, really good. Character creation's a bit lackluster. There's not a lot of options, certainly not when you compare it to the likes of City of Heroes or many other MMOs that's come out that's got way better character creation than this. It's very disappointing, to be honest with you. It is funny because you can make some ridiculously looking characters. I did a stream last night and I let my audience create a character for me using polls to see what colour hair, what style of hair, and what face and stuff like that. And this is the end result that they created. The name is Earlicker. And I actually went into a game last night and played this character up to level 6. Quite amusing. The actual abilities that you get as you're playing, because there isn't a class system in this, you don't choose what class you're going to be, you just put your points in to your different attributes, and the attributes are directly linked to the weapons that you're going to use. So you have to decide what weapons you're going to use in the game, and then you start sticking your attributes into that. And the more you use a weapon, you can level that weapon up and unlock abilities for that weapon. You can only carry 2 weapons at once, and you can switch between them in combat. But at the end of the day, you only have 6 abilities at any time while you're playing, which sucks. You've got light and heavy attack and a dodge, but that's it. You've got 6 fucking abilities, which is appalling. Absolutely appalling for an MMO. I have more abilities than that at level 12 as a frost mage on fucking WoW 18 years ago. It's appalling, guys. Absolutely appalling. And the direct result of that is it gets boring very fast, because you will have these abilities at level 12 or so in this game, and you will keep them abilities at level 60. So from level 12 to 60, you're probably going to be doing exactly the same thing over and over again in every single fight. How boring is that? And the reason I know that's how it plays is because it's not in your interest to be switching weapons to loads of different weapons, to use maybe 6 or 7 weapons, simply because the longer you use a weapon, the more perks you unlock for that weapon, the more damage it'll do, the longer some of the abilities that you've got will last, the more deadly it'll be. So it's in your interests to stick to the weapons all the way through, certainly to the high levels. So yeah, piss boring, guys. Now for me, I went with the rapier and the ice gauntlet, simply because I wanted a bit of control in my fights. I can snare them, which it's a poor snare, and there's hardly any snares in this game. Really poor. The combat's just crap. This is what I do every fight. I'm in a fight with me sword, me rapier. I can riposte them, stun them for a second. Then if that happens, I can get a heavy attack in while they're powerless to do anything. If they're really close, I can maybe feign them into walking over. I'll switch to my ice gauntlet and put down a frost snare. They get stuck in that. I can then put an AoE around them and then hit them again from range. Then I start again. That's it. That's my little rotational bag of tricks. I can dodge to the side and stuff like that, but that's it, guys. How bad is that? I have like, you know, on WoW, when I play WoW, I've got about 20 different abilities as a Frost Mage. I've got so many things that I can do. You know, it's just crazy. There's nothing to do in this. It's so boring, the combat. The NPCs that you fight, they're just MMO NPCs. I mean, some of them hit you quite hard, especially the ones that use ranged attacks, and some of the corruption can hurt you if you're not prepared. But it's just a normal MMO for that. They're just trash mobs, essentially. And the worst thing about it is, it's the same NPCs over and over again. In fact, the repetitive questing in this is hideous. You will be sent to the same areas over and over and over again to kill the same mobs. You might be sent to a farm to kill 8 mobs, and then you'll go back to hand that in, then you'll be sent back to the same farm to loot 8 chests. And you have to find them chests. It could be anywhere in the farm. It's just monotonous. Then you'll come back, hand that in, then you might get sent to another place, a quarry. Then you'll come back, then you get sent back to the farm you were at just before. They overuse the same areas over and over again. And guys, the map doesn't even have any biomes. It's the same stuff. It's forests, grass, mountains, lakes, and rivers. It looks nice, but it's the same everywhere you go, north, south, east, or west. You're just on the same kind of stuff. Now and then you might see a bit of a feature, a big waterfall or a chasm or something like that, or go in a mine, but that's it. It's not like other MMOs where you have different biomes. You'd be in the snowy mountains or the dry deserts or the swamps or the green pastures. You know, there's none of that in this. It's just the same stuff, and there's no mounts, so you're walking everywhere. You can fast travel, and you can unlock that at the different points, and you can make a little camp as well that you can respawn at if you die. But essentially, the world gets boring after the initial, ooh, ah, wow, that looks nice. You know, then it just gets boring. In fact, I even watched a level 48 streamer last night because I wanted to see if the high level areas looked the same. And do you know what? He was fighting the same mobs in a level 48 fucking area in a fucking wood, exactly the same as what I'm doing at level 20. You have factions as well. There's 3 factions you can choose. There's the Marauders, there's the is it the Outcasts or something, and the Syndicate. One's yellow or gold it is, and the other's purple and the other's green. They're all exactly the same. It doesn't matter which one you choose. And basically you take over areas of the map for yourself by taking over a fort there, which is basically a game of capture and hold, where everybody just piles into a fort and fights each other for control of that fort. Whoever wins the fort claims that territory, and you get perks for being there, like lower taxes and stuff if you have a house and stuff like that. That's it. That's the PvP in this game. It's just, okay, greens have these areas, purple has that area. Okay, whoopie fucking do. Absolutely, just no real, it's not exciting. It's not like there's no consequences really. It's just, no, I'm sorry, do better than that. You know, we were doing huge Alterac Valley battles in 2004 where you had loads going on one big map. And in EverQuest, well, EverQuest was good as well, but Guild Wars, you had these huge bloody fights going on in there. In this, it's very poor, guys. The dungeons don't even seem that big either. I was watching a whole dungeon run last night, and the dungeons look really small so far that I've actually seen. And they've got the same mobs in as well that you find on the fucking farms. Well, not the farms, but have them ghost things that you'll find. It's, ugh, God. The crafting is alright, but there's nothing really that exciting to craft. You can craft furniture, weapons, armor, and stuff like that, ammunition and guns. It's pretty good. I think it's the best part of the game, the crafting. I'm going to give it a bit of due on the crafting, but at the end of this, at the day with the crafting even, you've just got to go out and you've just got to chop down a zillion trees, and the more you chop them down, the better you get at them, and the bigger, thicker tree you can chop down. There's loads to do in the crafting with mining and picking up herbs and stuff like that, and chopping down all the trees. And there's the arcana stuff as well, where you can do the magical stuff like alchemy and things like that. But it's nothing that we haven't seen a million times in an MMO. I have to mention that you can't even swim in this game. You just walk through the water. It's comical, absolutely comical. And in PvP, well, I've mentioned it already. No one's flagged for PvP in the open world. Pretty much, you might have the odd group of 3 people, and we've always seen that the higher level than us. So there hasn't really been much PvP. I was going to concentrate on the PvP today, but I can't get in because I was kicked out of the queue this morning after queuing up for 2 hours, and then put back at the back of the queue, which is now a 6-hour queue. I'm doing a whole video on the launch of this game. It'll be separate to this. I don't want to really go into it. What I want to talk about finally is the toxic community and the moderators and people getting banned in this game. It's absolutely appalling, shocking and disgusting what's been going on in the last 2 days in this game. Obviously the community's toxic. It is in WoW Classic. It's just the sign of the times. It's these people who have been brought up on the internet. They've never lived before the internet, so they have no real concept of respect and stuff like that. They've just been brought up on a no consequence platform of the internet, and so they're in this game. And let's say you shoot an animal and then you run over to skin that animal. If you shoot an animal in this game, somebody else will, as soon as they see that, it's just an actual reflex action. Oh, I'm going to go and I'm going to skin that animal and I'm going to have all the loot off that animal. You aren't having, I know it's your animal, you've shot it and you've killed it and you've fought it, but I'm going to get to it before you can get to it. So that means I'm entitled to it and I'm going to take it, which is disgusting, disgraceful, and just, I would never do that. There's something inside of me, the way I was brought up pre-internet, that would not do that. If I see somebody shooting an animal, I wouldn't dream of going over and skinning it. If they don't want it, then I'll do it, but it's theirs. They've earned the right to skin that. But in this game, hell, you will have, I've had it done to me hundreds of times. They will steal it. And one guy turned around and called someone a bottom feeder because he did that, and he got banned for 24 hours. The guy who stole his kill, no consequence. No, you're allowed to do that, you entitled prick. But hey, you dare call anybody. Don't call names. You can do what you want in your actions, but if you dare call anybody a name, you will be banned and cancelled. All games are like this. It's just a sign of the times. It's just sad that the moderators in the game come down hard on anybody that loses the temper with these people and maybe calls them a name. I mean, bottom feeder, fucking hell. You get banned for that. I also read a report of a guy who typed in the wrong channel that he was looking for a group for one of the dungeons, and someone says you shouldn't post that in here, and he posted it again in here, and he got banned for 24 hours as well for simply typing in the wrong channel. Unbelievable. So my whole experience in this game has been very, very negative, from the constant queuing, which I'll come to in another video, to the disconnects, the bugs in the game, the bad moderators, the toxic community, the boring combat, the absolutely shit show of a map that's just not big enough, the no mounts. Guys, everything that I've just said. What I will say is this game may appeal to people who want to chop down 10,000 trees, hit 10,000 rocks, and just walk around what is a very beautiful world, just taking their time and just basically chilling out. It may appeal to you kind of people, but for me, is it worth a buy? Well, so far, guys, in this review in progress, I would rather become a bottom feeder.